G'day, and welcome back to Golf World, episode 6. We are 6 episodes in, and we'll let the chat fill up, but let me know if you guys like the format of Golf World. I've personally been enjoying it. I think it's an excellent place for people to ask questions and just get immediate feedback on whatever it is that they want. I'm getting so many emails, so many messages come through now, so many comments in my videos, which I really appreciate, and I'll try and get back to all of them. But ultimately, it is hard working full-time, having a family, and getting back to everybody. So I think that having the Facebook group is a really good place for people to ask questions. And then also these lives is a really good place for people to ask questions. I've got a few emails. I might just go through a few emails from people, and maybe this will be a place where if, the chat goes quiet for a bit, the emails might come out, and we'll answer some questions that we've been getting. It's good to see people coming in. We've already got Spike in the chat. It looks like we've got a new member. Homie Poppy M has just joined, so thank you. I really appreciate that. The membership is something that is growing, and I love seeing it grow. And I've been putting out some videos, so hopefully everybody is enjoying that member content. Let me know how the stream's going. Let me know how the shirt looks. This is the new Joe Lagowski golf shirt. I've got the logo. I've got the Bayside Golf logo on it as well. So let me know what you guys think. It is morning, Tomat. Yeah, good to see you, mate. It's 11 o'clock Sunday morning. So just morning, almost midday. Jez is in the chat. It's good to see. We've got people coming in now, which is fantastic. Top Gun's in, Jay's in. So Jay, where are you? You must be in Australia then, are you? If it's morning, whereabouts are you? Must be somewhere in Australia or somewhere. Mike's in the chat. Good to see. So in today's episode, there's a couple of talking points. I wanted to talk about TGL and the full swing because, oh man, like, I don't know if you guys have been seeing the misreads. I don't know if you've been watching it. I've been watching it a little bit, but I'm not going to lie, I haven't been tuning into every match. I don't know, it's not as good as I thought it would be, but we'll get into that later. And I'll get your thoughts as well, because as always, I want to hear your thoughts. We'll have course of the week. We'll do Q&A time. I'll give a Nova update. So you can see I got the Nova back on the ground. I've been doing some testing for the Nova guys. And then I'll talk about, I'll loosely touch on the G&G launch monitor. That's Brett in Canada. I've been talking to him. We're getting very close to getting a unit in my hands. So I can't talk about it much, but I'll touch on that as well. Phuket, very nice. That would be lovely. Let's see. Do the European Tour thing on your shirt. Look like a NASCAR driver. Yeah. Yeah, so this logo that I got put on, it was way too big. They've made it too big. But for the initial shirt, I'm loving it. I love the blue. MGR's in the chat. He's in WA. And we got Alan from New South Wales. Sweden. That's a solid effort joining in from Sweden. That is incredible, isn't it? That this channel and the live is getting all the way to Sweden. That just blows my mind. Thank you for joining in. I am so bad at pronouncing names and things, so I don't want to just butcher your name. Let's talk about TGL, because, there was some misreads, I guess. Even from the first episode, we saw a few of the guys hit shots, like Tiger in particular, and just carry the green by about 30 yards, which is just ridiculous with a wedge. So I think the actual software for the full swing is just not where it should be. I've seen so many pictures of the guys at the actual facility, and they've got their GC quad set up next to them. So I guess they're trying to figure out their yardages with full swing versus, what they're seeing on the quad, so they can actually hit good shots. But yeah, so I think the software is not where it should be. There seems to be a massive delay. And I know people are saying that the ball hits the screen and then they want the ball to take off. But to me, there's even a delay from when the ball's hitting the screen to, because you can hear it, you can hear the crack, and then you have to wait. The biggest one was Tommy Fleetwood's shot where people are saying, and we think that the actual unit locked onto the divot, which is just madness. I don't know. What concerns me, I guess, is we all have sims, and the experience that we have in our sims, even with a Square Golf launch monitor, is fantastic. And what concerns me, I guess, is the fact that you're going to have people watching TGL who don't have simulators, and they're going to think the software's not there, the hardware's not there. There's no point in getting a sim. Sim golf's not realistic. It's not true, where we know from using GS Pro, from using even a Square Golf launch monitor, MLM2 Pro, the experience is fantastic. The experience is amazing, and you can have such a good and true to life experience. And I just don't think that's coming through on the TGL. And so that kind of concerns me. And even the whole production to it, I'm just not sold. I don't know. I don't want to be a hater, because I do love seeing simulated golf get a bit more attention, but to me, it's just not where it should be at. It's not something that, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be successful. And they've pumped a lot of money into it with that facility. Yeah, the holes as well. Like Mike's saying, the holes as well. Just the designs of them. It's like they've almost got, a teenager to, oh, yeah, I don't know. It's just, when you see the courses that are built on GS Pro, like Swiss Alpine Valley, that was Greg McDonald's first course, right? And I know we're talking about the exception here because he is just an unbelievable designer. That was his first course. And that is a fantasy course. Imagine TGL playing on that. Like, it would be far superior. So, yeah, I mean, anyway. I announced a live in my Square group. Hope you have some subs here. Thanks, Spike. I am going to touch on Spike, because I have received a case from Spike. So I'm going to be, actually, after this live, I'm going to be doing a video on this case. So, yeah, stand by and wait for that. I don't know when it's going to be released, but I have received the protective shield, the protective case from Spike. So we'll be testing that out after I do the live. The other thing is, I guess, while we're touching on Spike's protective case, I'll announce this in on the Facebook group as well, but there will be a giveaway for one of those next week. So on the next week's live, we're going to do a live spin the wheel giveaway for one of Spike's cases. So I'll have that in the Facebook announcement that I do for next week's live. So week 7, we've got another giveaway. So that's fantastic. For golf's sake, says Tim here, I received my Square from Bayside a few days ago with the official protective case. Absolutely loving the Square. Short game is good compared to the Garmin. Yeah, it's honestly, it's unreal. And I've got to speak to Sam and potentially get my hands on one of the official cases, because they are a lot different to a lot of these third-party ones. They're pretty tight on the actual unit themselves. So yeah, I mean, yes, the short game with the Square is unbelievable. That unit, to be honest, is pretty unbelievable for the price. Jez is saying it's an absolute disgrace that they allowed Tiger to. I know, this is the thing, and that's exactly right. It's like, I don't. Does Tiger actually own a stake in the company, or is he just paid? Is he sponsored from Full Swing? I don't know if he owns a stake in the company, but yeah, it just seems like they've got Tiger, they've got the Full Swing. Those two are linked. He's obviously getting paid to promote this product, and then they're using that as the technology. And like, let's be honest, it's not that good. And the other annoying thing is now people are going to see that. I've had so many questions and comments about, can I test the Full Swing kit? And it's like, yeah, look, potentially at some point, but Yeah, it's not on the top of my to-do list, to be honest. Indoors, we all know radar struggles. The full swing is no exception. Foresight with the large putting green used. Oh yeah, that I agree. I think if they did foresight with the putt view, I mean, yeah. The green that they're using, the technology for that is actually really cool. So potentially that could have stayed. But yeah, if they just used like the industry standard, the unit that all of the pros have while using the full swing kit next to them, the GC quad, use that. I mean, honestly, why not? Yeah, software and courses are letting it down. I completely agree. I will be at Live on Sunday. I'll be at Live on Sunday. I will be in the Barossa stand at some point, but I'm going to be walking around. I like to walk around and just see the players. I will be there. If you're going to be there and you see me, just say hi. That'd be cool. I'm debating whether to wear this shirt. I think I might look a bit out of place, so I might not. I might be a bit low key, but if you see me, definitely come and say hi. Would you recommend the Square over the R10? Look, I'm going to do a video because the Square Golf Launch Monitor and the MLM2 Pro are the two units that people are saying, what should I get? And I'll basically give you the crux of the video I'm going to film probably later today. Those two units are both amazing. If you're talking about accuracy, I would slightly give it to the MLM2 Pro. However, with those two devices, get a device that suits your needs. So what I mean by that is if you're going to use it indoors and outdoors, get the MLM2 Pro because it's fantastic at both. Also, it's got a speed training mode. It's got all these other things, and you can use it for both. Now, it can't do putting though, so that's one thing to consider. If you get that device and you want to have a full simulator experience, pairing it with, say, an X-Putt or even the webcam putting is going to be amazing. Costs a lot more money. If you want a unit just to do an indoor golf simulation experience, then get the Square because the Square is unbelievable at that price point. You've got to get a device that suits your needs. And a lot of people, they question and they think about, go back and forth between these two units. Just get the one that's going to suit your needs. And you can't go wrong with either, to be honest. Okay, yeah, so Spike saying his leveling stands fit the official case for 21 bucks. And yeah, the leveling stand is fantastic. It is well made. I'll pull it up now. It's quite easy to get this case off. Spike shows it on his channel, but you literally just pop it out. That's the actual leveling stand. Hold that up to the camera. You can see it's got the feet and it's got the locking nuts there. What I will say is I need to take these locking nuts out because my mat is actually pretty close to the level of my turf around it. So I need to take these locking nuts out so then this actually sits level with my mat. But yeah, the unit just slides right in. It does have a spot so you can still charge the unit as well. So it's got access to the charging port. And yeah, it's a well-made stand. It's really good quality. So Golf Zone, Open, Golf City, 1,600 meter square space, and I've seen that. I've seen that video. That looks unreal. Is that, I'm pretty sure it's the one I'm thinking of. Is that where you hit into the screen and then the screen goes up and you walk out into the actual world? If that's the one you're talking about, I have seen that, and man, it looks unreal. Golf Zone, I've heard good things about Golf Zone. I've heard very bad things as well. So, but that looks unreal. Yeah, Mike's right. Yeah, they're struggling chipping off the fake grass surrounds. I think, to me, Full Swing, they've missed the mark, unfortunately. Or I should say TGL, not Full Swing. TGL's missed the mark. It'd be interesting to see what changes they make if they want to make it successful, because I cannot see that being successful, if I'm honest. Dom saying he's going to be at Live on Sunday. Yeah, definitely come say hi. That'd be pretty funny. Full Swing for TV would be better if they did 3 times. Independent monitors to buy need. Yeah. Yeah. See, yeah, if you're going to do this league, you need to show every single data point. We want to see metrics. That's what we want to see because we're sim golfers. We want to see the metrics. I'm debating getting an MLM2 Pro since it's been 13 days and still no reply from Square. UK team replied, but they only forward my emails to the US. They need to do better with support. That sounds like a US distributor issue. That doesn't sound like Square. It sounds like the US distributor is the one that's being the issue. But that's 13 days is ridiculous. They need to do better. What does the iMini / SkyTrack Plus give you more than the Square? Look, I think for me, the iMini and SkyTrack are more accurate than the Square. The Square is a budget device, and like I've shown in my videos, there are slight variances for spin. You do get the occasional misread. With the iMini now, that thing is incredible. Like, I've used that for the past couple of weeks. I've used it a lot, and I've got to say, it is kicking goals. Like, every data point is good now. Like, there's no more issues. So I guess you're paying for a more complete package and something that is not going to let you down. I think the Square, I'm still like, this is the thing with all these launch monitors. My I guess my ultimate test with a launch monitor is, would I use it in the tips tour? If the answer is yes, then that launch monitor is just kicking goals. Because for me, I know the tips tour is something that, or you know, these SGT tours, people don't really care about. But for me, it's my goal. I want to get to world #1, so they mean a lot to me. And realistically, those rounds are the only rounds I really get to play in the week. So I want to play well. So choosing a launch monitor to play well in these rounds, I want something that's accurate. It's not going to let me down. It's going to be great at putting. It's going to be great at chipping. All the metrics are good. So I want a complete package. So if I'm willing to play the tips tour with a launch monitor, then you know it's good. Everything is good about it. I'm happy to play Pro T, iMini, GC3. I wouldn't use the Square because I have seen a few random misreads. Sometimes it picks up on my tee, I think, and the ball just goes like 10 yards. So for me, you're getting that complete package with the iMini. SkyTrack Plus, I wouldn't use in the tips tour, no way. The putting is nowhere near as good as I need it to be. And the chipping, the horizontal launch angle wasn't perfect. I guess that's a very easy way for me to kind of gauge launch monitors and where they sit with me. All right, I'll back up on the comments a bit because I'm already behind. Okay, that was Tim. So yeah, that's kind of my answer, Tim. Yeah, so go back to Golf's on event productions supply. Yeah, so that is the one, and man, that looks unreal. I've seen the video, but the logistics for that would cost so much to get set up. We got Sorensen Golf in Denmark. That is unbelievable. That is just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Of all these devices, the X-Putt is by far the most accurate. Yeah, so this is what I would love to see with these launch monitors. And I'm surprised no one, I think there's one launch monitor that has done this. Excuse me. What I would love to see, and whether this would be GS Pro or someone else implementing this, I'd love to see the X-Putt officially integrated with, say, the MLM2 Pro, the Garmin R10, because to use the X-Putt with those devices, you need to use the third-party connector by Springbok, which is amazing, but more and more SGT is starting to crack down on the open API. So what I'd love to see is GS Pro official connectors support the X-Putt. So even if you've got an iMini, even if you've got a GC Quad, whatever device you have, I'd love for there to be an option to select the X-Putt as the putting launch monitor, because not only is that going to help you if your mat is not perfectly level. So for me, I putt on putting turf and I hit from the side on putting turf. So what would be cool is if you could just off to the side of that have just a putting station where you could use the X-Putt officially integrated with all these other launch monitors. I think, why not? That'd be an awesome option to have, because then you can have, you know, that X-Putt mat is perfectly level, perfectly flat, and, you know, hopefully you'll have better reads. I would love to see that officially integrated. Spike saying that is actually a career issue, Gel, on the communication. So yeah, I'm interested to know which third-party retailer you're dealing with in the US and whether it is Square or whether it's the reseller. Because I mean, they've been super responsive to me. Like every email I send to Jin and the team, they're super responsive. People are building Square cases. It's good to see. I think, to be honest, now that we've got the official case, I think I'm going to use a stand because I like to get it perfectly level, and I like to know that it is you know, actually level with the ground. So I do like a stand, but then I'm leaning towards using the actual official protectives case personally, just because then I've got to test with these third-party cases, but it's so hard to pick up on interference because it's shot by shot, and trying to know whether it's the unit that did a misread or whether it was because of the third-party case, it's a minefield. So I think the best option to do would be get an official stand, get a third-party stand and get the official protective case for the Square. I have a Square now. Is the case really needed, Jez? Yes. I've seen Squares be hit, and not by traditional shanks. So not from, say, if you shank it out the hosel, but with kids, and my kids do this as well, they actually hit so far off the toe of the club that the ball does take off pretty much 90 degrees. And I've seen smashed Squares from that. So if you've got kids or if you're, you know, just learning to play golf, I'd personally get the protective case. Steve saying he bought it from Second Chance, which is the UK distributor. They were the only option for the US back in November. Oh man, the comments just jumped. They pass it on to the US emails since I'm in the US. Yeah, that doesn't seem good enough to me. I'd be, I mean, I'm sure you've been emailing them, but that does not seem good enough. What's the Tips Tour? And g'day from Detroit. So the Tips Tour is SGT, so Simulator Golf Tour. So the Simulator Golf Tour is partnered with GS Pro, and they provide all of the tour events for GS Pro. So they do the official world rankings on their, you know, Simulator Golf Tour website. Head over to Simulator Golf Tour, the website, and check it out. There's a bunch of different tours that you can play in. The Tips Tour is like the, I guess the best of the best. So it's like kind of like the I was about to say Live Golf Tour just to wind people up, but it's kind of like, you know, the PGA Tour, I guess, and then you've got you know, tours that are under that. So you've got like the what is it, Web.com Tour? Is it still called that? And you've got like European Tour and all those under it. But it's the Tips Tour is the one that the better players play in. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the States who want to buy the Square that just don't have access to them. Pre-order saying by the Feb 20th. Yeah, no, it's definitely a demand. It's a demand issue because I know for us in Australia, for Sam, we have been ordering Square units in and getting them sent in, but it's a demand. There's all over the world, Square's gone mad. It's Square mania, so getting the units is actually quite hard. So it is a supply issue, I should say. Supply versus demand. iMini Lite, Tomat saying that iMini Lite has been flawless and not worry about playing Simulator Golf Tour rounds. Yeah, I would love to test the iMini Lite. I've obviously got the iMini and I use that. The iMini Lite, I've heard, uses different hardware. I've heard that the iMini Lite uses hardware, the cameras themselves are the ones that they use in their overhead units, not the ones that they use in the iMini. So I'd love to test the iMini Lite because I've heard some really good things. I've also heard from one of my mates here in Australia who is a absolute gun. I think he plays off +4, +2. I know he's been down to +4, but he's told me that he's seen a few misreads. So I'd love to test it myself. Obviously, these launch monitors, depending on the environment you use them in, they're going to perform differently. So I'd love to test it out myself so I can kind of put my seal of approval on it, but I haven't had the opportunity yet, unfortunately. XPUT is from the Square company. Yep, it is. XPUT is made by the same company that makes Square. Can iMini Lite be used outside? Top Gun saying it can, but it needs to be paired with a PC and you need to have power. So you've got to run a power cord out there. It's a bit of a mission. It's not as easy as using the iMini, for instance, that has a battery and a screen built into it. They actually use the iMini Lite, not the PGA show just gone, the one before when they announced it. They actually had one set up on the driving range. Yeah, and Tomat's answered that as well. So iMini Lite needs to be plugged in and connected to a laptop or PC. All right, I think I've almost caught up. No, I haven't. MGR, for 9K Australian, the iMini would want to perform better than the Square for 1100. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it does. It 100% does. The iMini is incredible. It's an incredible device now. And also with the iMini, you've got to remember you've got access to performance optics as well. So it's not just the unit, you're buying into their software, you're buying into their ecosystem. And I think that Unicore, I'm going to say Unicore probably has one of the most well-rounded ecosystems in terms of golf and in terms of coaching and software. It's really quite done quite well. You've got access to the swing cameras that integrate, that have the AI coaching. You've got the balance optics, the balance plate as well. And on top of that, you've got these Power U reports. And so what you can do is if you're getting coached by someone, you can generate these reports, and what that'll do is it'll send your golf swings, all your data from the session, all your swings from the session, all of the balance optics things, all of that, the videos of your swing from the performance optics. It'll send that to a web portal, and then your coach can actually access that and see all of your swings and everything you've done. So they've really got a very well-rounded ecosystem, and the software, the View software, is actually pretty good. It does lag. When I was using it a lot, when was this? Like 6 months ago, the actual software was quite laggy, but I think they've improved that now. iMini Lite V2 coming out soon. Have you got any news on that? Is that confirmed or is that just rumors? That'd be interesting. I wonder what they would do. That would, if they made it better than the iMini, they'd have to be coming out with a new iMini then. Can be plugged into a battery and connected to an iPad. No, you can't connect the iMini Lite to an iPad. It's got to be connected to a PC, from the best of my knowledge anyway. So Spike saying the US distributor is Jin's folks, Joe, and that's the issue. There are a lot of those communication complaints on my Square Facebook group. Okay. Yeah. Why do you feel about players playing both Tips and Pro nearly every week? Seems unfair for lesser players playing Pro. So that's an interesting one. So back in the day before the Tips Tour, Floris, you're going to get me on a rant here. So before we had the Tips Tour, the Pro Tour was the tour that the better players played on. Now, what happened was you had people who were playing in the Pro Tour, but, not as good as some of the top, say the top 20. And what that did is it gave them the opportunity to play in the Pro Tour, but then also play in the Web Tour as well. So they had 2 tours they could play on. When they introduced the Tips Tour, what it basically meant is now the good players have 2 options to play in. So I know for me, like Tips Tour is my main priority, but if I have a shocker in the Tips Tour and I have the time, which is very unlikely, I will play in both tours. So yes, it has changed. I mean, look, yeah, it is what it is. The world ranking points now are skewed towards the Tips Tour, so it's essentially double if you play well on the Tips Tour. So a lot of the good guys play on the Tips Tour. Thoughts on the next tour? Well, Jez, I mean, there's pretty big news from the next tour. Let me pull up a picture because I did the one. I'm pretty sure Jez sent it to me actually. So the next tour has partnered with Live essentially, or they've done a deal with Live. And so what they've done is the winner of the next tour is going to get a start in the Live Golf promotional events, which is pretty big because that is going to give them the opportunity, if they play well in the promotional events, to actually play on the Live Tour, which is just unreal. Try and find the picture. So they're not getting a start in the actual Live Golf, but they're going to get a start in the promotional events. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. They could literally qualify for the 2026 Live Tour or League if they play well in those promotional events. So next tour has come a long way. I've been speaking to a lot of people. Jez is one of those people. It would be cool if we could have a proper money tour associated with GS Pro. I think that would be huge. TrackMan, I think it's a lot easier for them to have this because they've got that lockdown ecosystem where GS Pro has a lot of different launch monitors feeding into it. And with that, you know, the open architecture of the open API, people can ultimately, they could cheat if they wanted to. They could hack into the open API program software. I don't know. I'm not a computer person, but they could hack into it essentially, and they could cheat. So they could make their ball go straighter. They can make it go further. So I think with GS Pro having a tour like that, it's going to be a lot harder because the architecture is an open architecture. So it's going to be interesting. I do think there's going to be a lot of people trying to do a tour on GS Pro. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I guess touching on that as well, with that open architecture, that's why GS Pro or the SGT guys have kind of locked down those money matches now. So you're not, if you've got an open API unit, you're not going to be able to play for money in the money matches that run on the SGT or in the Discord. So that's something else to be aware of. Right, try and catch up with these comments. Okay. Yeah, so Flores says he has the light and the iMini light does 0 calculations. It has to be connected to a PC to have that raw power to do all the calculations. So it has offboard calculations is what Flores is saying. Michael, hello from the US. If you use Square in current state on Tips Tour, how many strokes do you reckon you'd be lost? Great question. Look, I might have to go play a few more rounds with the Square. Maybe I'll play in the Pro Tour or something with the Square and we'll just see how it goes. But for me, for someone who's trying to get to world number 1, every stroke matters. I actually had a couple of shots in this week's Tips Tour that I hit the U key because it's so close to the Y. So I accidentally hit putter. U is the hotkey for putter. I changed the Pro T to putter and I hit it and it came out at 0 launch angle. I had 2 of those shots and that has potentially cost me the win this week in the Tips Tour. So every shot matters for me. For someone who's just trying to have fun, is not really taking those tours seriously, they're not really going to care. And ideally with the square, you're going to be playing where you can just have mulligans. So if it misreads, if there's an obvious misread, you can just hit Control M, take your mulligan and keep playing. But for someone like me who's every shot matters, that's why I say, if I'm going to use a device in the tips tour, you can trust it. Like, absolutely, you can trust it. Alan's saying, my wish list for Garage Sim is almost complete. Looking to buy the Kaizen Masters Golf Sim enclosure with the large golf stance mat. Is anyone else using Kaizen? Alan, where are you located? Call Sam from Bayside. If you're in Australia, call Sam from Bayside. Just do it. You won't regret it. Dom is saying, Dom's saying, is it strange there doesn't seem to be many options between things like Square at 1,000 and things like the iMini Lite at 6K-ish? Surely the market for something at around 2.5K range. Yeah, look, that's a good point. And I think there's just a massive jump with technology. So potentially those cheaper units, they're using, lesser hardware. When you get to something like an iMini Lite, the hardware in it is going to be a lot more expensive. But you do have units like the Nova. So the Nova, I'll pull it up now. This unit is going to be going for $1,500 US. This is essentially what you're talking about. So it's a camera. It's got 2 cameras in there that you can see. It has got a radar built into it. So this is going to fit that price point. You've also got devices from other people that are going to come out. So I know G&G, that one is going to be fitting into that price point as well. So there are going to be options. Also, don't discount the GC2. The GC2 is an amazing device. It has a few limitations. Horizontal launch angle on slow putts is not great, but you've got the GS Pro Assist algorithm to help you. A used GC2 that has the correct flash board. So there's a few things to look out for with GC2s. You've got to have the N3 flash board. And what that does is it allows you to use third-party flashes instead of the OEM Foresight flashes. That's important because this unit is so old now that a lot of the stock parts aren't actually made anymore. So it uses flashes. These things wear out after like a million shots. But yeah, so you've got to get the flashes from a third-party guy who makes them in America, Andy. There are a few things to look out for. GC2 is a fantastic device. You will not regret getting a GC2. One that's in good condition, and the Bluetooth has to work. It doesn't have to, but it makes it a lot easier. Is Josh Oddie on the tips tour, Jay? Yes, he is. Josh Oddie is a gun. I mean, that guy is a good golfer. Far better than me. He plays, I think he plays off +6, which is just, that's unreal. +6 is crazy. That's lower than I've ever been. He is a fantastic golfer, and yes, he plays on the tips tour. Steve saying, unless you're as good as Joe, you'll not be able to tell the difference between the sub 3K launch monitors and the Square. The Square will give you a great data, easy to set up. Yeah, Steve, that's a fair point. Yeah, the Square is fantastic. If you've got the money, I always say, like, for me personally, I'd get the Square if I was on a tight budget. I 100% have no hesitations recommending the Square to someone if you're on a tight budget. If you have a little bit more money, if you've got the extra money to spend, get an iMini Lite. Just do it, because it unlocks, like I said, all those other integrations, and also you're getting a product from someone who's been in the game a lot longer. And yeah, I think for me, if I was starting from scratch and I didn't have this channel, I didn't have, any of this, what launch monitor would I get to start with? It'd probably be an iMini Lite. I mean, that'd be top of the list. It'd be hard to argue against the iMini Lite. Or potentially one of those new Foresight units. That would be an option as well. Yeah, BLP. There you go. Brian's on it. So the new foresights, that would actually pique my interest as well. Yes, it's got subscription fees, but yeah, you got to pay to play. Event production is saying when they bring out the new version 2 of the iMini Lite coming soon. How do you know it's coming soon? Give us the scoop. What's going on? I don't know about this iMini Lite version 2. Okay, so what do you do, Event Productions? You know something. He's saying that it's going to be better and it's got an iPad. So what's going on there? Give us a bit more detail. Give us some more detail. I guess they're always going to be working on the next version, aren't they? Does anyone know what part of Canada G&G's from? Let me go back up. I should know. He did tell me. He did tell me. I've forgotten. All I know is it's snowing and it's really cold there at the moment. He's been showing me pictures. I've just sent Brett a message saying, jump onto the live if you're free. We'll see if I don't know what time it is in Canada, actually. He usually is awake at crazy hours. He's got a young baby, that's why. He might be on. He might get on. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Got my Square on pre-order from SimSpace in November. Took a few weeks. 6:30 shipped to my door in the US. That is crazy. That is a good price for the Square. Swing stick tour. Don't get me started on the swing stick. Do you know who gets fired up more than me is Ben. Triple bogey golf, man. He gets fired up about the swing stick. And this is the thing with the swing stick, with all these new launch monitors with the open API, it's going to make the simulator golf tour people, it's going to make them start to crack down, I guess, on the open API and all the launch monitors. So what would Ben Hogan think to all this? I reckon Ben Hogan would be stuck in. He'd be obsessed. He'd be getting his AI coaching. That man was obsessed with his golf swing, so he'd be loving it. He'd have Sportsbox AI set up. He'd be like Bryson. What are your thoughts on the new GC3s and the GC3S? Interesting. From a company point of view, I think they hit the mark. But from a consumer and someone who wants to use and from someone who uses golf simulators and launch monitors, all I want Foresight to do is make a GC2S. Just make a new GC2, ball data only, and make it iMini Lite prices. That's what I want. That's what I want. Triple bogey golf. That shirt is. We got Ben is in the chat. Watch out, Ben's in the chat. He said that shirt is sexy. Where can I get one? Look, I've thought about doing these shirts as merch. The logistics is quite hard. I don't know whether they will become available. I've sent one to Sam, or Sam bought one. So I don't know whether these are going to be merch. They're quite hard to get. And yeah, the price of them, I honestly think if you saw the price, you might question wanting to get one, Ben. Glenn's in the chat. It's good to see you, Glenn. It's always good to see you. I mean, it's crazy. You stay up too late for the live. Thank you. Yeah, so this chat keeps jumping around. Let me go back up. From Frank, did I hear Bayside Golf might be coming out with a version of the net return? No. Bayside Golf is, Sam's currently developed, I say we, Sam's currently, I'm acting like I'm Bayside Golf when I'm not. They're a channel partner, love Bayside Golf. Sam's an amazing dude, but he runs Bayside. So what Bayside is doing and what Sam's doing is he's developing his own net that is going to be made from really premium materials. It's going to be, I've seen pictures of it. It looks incredible. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll have some amazing videos on that net coming. It's going to be a few months away, but stay tuned for it. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be good. It's going to open up the market to a lot more people. So I'm really excited about it. I'm actually going to go to Brisbane and film some stuff with Sam. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. This is early for Ben. Yeah, Ben usually, he like streams at midnight. He is crazy. What time is it where Ben's at? Let me see. I forgot where he said he lives. It's got to be in the Arvo sometime. Yeah, he's got kids. I'm surprised he's allowed on the live. We've got Brian saying, I'm in your light or BLP. What subs do you want to pay? I mean, I'm in your light's a couple of $100 US a year. The BLP, I think, is a lot more because you've got to get the software as well. You've got to buy the Ep.6 software. So I think the BLP is a lot more expensive than the iMini Lite in terms of subscription fees. For me, like I can only judge off this, the iMini. And honestly, this thing, I have no hesitation now recommending this to anyone. The data has got to a point where it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. In terms of the iMini Lite, I can't comment on the data accuracy, but for me, it's a tough choice. I'd probably lean towards the iMini Lite just because of the lower subscription fees. So the BLP isn't sold. Yeah, that's, and around the world the BLP is not sold. So it's, I think it's a US only thing. It might be sold in the UK as well. Catch up with these comments. Jez is saying, I've said it so many times, the more money you spend, for the most part, is getting you more immersive ecosystem and a more accurate hardware. Yep. Absolutely. But then you get devices like the Square that just come out of nowhere that, you know, just punching straight off the get-go. But even still, you're going to get more accuracy with the iMini Lite. Now, how much accuracy? I think it's not a linear scale. It's definitely not linear, but definitely more accurate. Steve is saying he loves Triple Bogey. Comment about the shirt. Yeah, I'm definitely in love with the shirt. It's it will pretty much be, I think, in every video from here on out. Okay, event production supplies in from Singapore. Okay, now I know where I'm at. Yes, thank you. Yep. Okay, so yes, I know Ian does have a lot of inside scoop. So yes, okay, that checks out. So we are actually getting some inside scoop here from someone who has connections with these companies. So Ian makes a lot of simulators in Singapore. So he's he definitely, I'd say he does have an inside scoop then. Triple Bogey Golf has entered the chat. I wonder if he's still in. He probably just jumped in real quick, left a comment, and then got out. A lot of questions about the new 3GS. I think the 3GS is definitely, it's a device, I guess, that Foresight has kind of needed to do this. They had the BLP in the States. they needed something that was worldwide, essentially, that you could get with a subscription fee. So that's essentially what the 3GS is. With the link integration, would I personally use that? I don't play enough outside, so I think it's fantastic that they're doing that. It's a more well-rounded ecosystem, and using your data, especially from a Foresight GC3, you know it's going to be accurate. So you can trust that data and you can trust that outside. So I think it's fantastic. Yeah, great. I'd have no hesitation using a GC3S. Mike saying, your show keeps me entertained while regripping golf clubs. Yes, that is, man, regripping golf clubs. I was a PGA pro for a while, for like 2 or 3 years. Regripping golf clubs was the bane of my existence. Honestly, it is such a just annoying job. Have I played Replica Ridge? Yes, I have played Replica Ridge. I did a video on it when it was in beta. We got Old Man Golf in the chat. Good to see you, Harris. Anyone know of a good free program for PC that I can pair with the Unicore Swing Optics cameras to record in slow-mo outside of the View software? I don't know, and I don't think there would be, because I believe those cameras are kind of designed to be locked down to the Unicore ecosystem. That's the point. Whereas, you know, the Pro T, you can get any driverless USB camera that can plug in and it can be used. So it's just a different way of doing it. Oh, Triple Ben saying father-in-law is a t-shirt / logo apparel guy, can handle your stateside deliveries. That is really interesting. I wonder what access does he have to different shirts. That'd be we'll have a chat. We'll have a chat, Ben. That'd be interesting. I'd love to do some sort of merch. I had the golf ball markers that I got made, but they were very like a limited production. But I would love these shirts. I'm honestly in love with it. It's such a nice shirt. But trying to source these, they are very expensive. And then I'm paying to get the logos put on as well. So I'd have to sell them for a ridiculous amount. Taylor's in the chat. We got HT Dumps. He's saying OBS or Kinevere are free options, but I'm not sure they would work with the Swing Optics cameras. Yeah, that's the thing. With the Unicore cameras, I just don't know if those cameras are locked down to the View software. I don't know. But yes, those are options that you could use. Triple bogey, 7:15 p.m. So I'd say 7:15 p.m. the kids would be just about down then, I'd say. The kids insist we watch you. You're their hero. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. I'm honestly, I'm just a guy making videos in his garage. That's really cool. Did you see, Harris is saying, did you see my question about the square? I didn't. Where did you put that? Was that on YouTube or? I'll try and find it. Bootlegger's Lair. How good is Bootlegger's Lair? I'm actually talking to, is it David Kahn at the moment? I'm actually talking to David from Jackson Kahn Design, and I'm going to try and get him on the channel to actually talk about Bootlegger's Lair. And I'm actually really excited because there's a whole story behind that. And I think what's cool is this is the first time we've seen like a software come out and make a course that is potentially going to be built at Bootlegger's Lair. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to try and get him on the channel to give us like an insider's point of view to Bootlegger's Lair. Spike saying, I can't stay up late enough to play with Ben anymore. He's a night owl. Yeah, that guy, he's up seriously late. iMini Lite or GC3? That, Dean, you're talking about, where do you live, Dean? In the States or do you live in Australia? Because the iMini Lite is a fraction of the price of the GC3. That's, you're kind of comparing two totally different price points and two totally different units as well, because one's portable, can be used outside, and one's just an indoor unit only. Dom is saying, I'm in Adelaide, should be out on the course today. Weather has been crazy hot. The weather here has been insane in Adelaide. It's good to see someone from Adelaide tuned in. If you're going to be at Live next week, I'll be there on Sunday. So if you see me, come and say hi. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, the weather today is a lot better. It has been insanely hot. Like we're talking 40-degree days Celsius. Retro Boy, hello from Adelaide. It's pretty cool. We do have a few people from Adelaide tuned in. Let me go back up. We'll catch up with these comments, and I'm going to have to get on to course of the week and things. Time has flown by today. We'll be interested to see where the accuracy ceiling is with the square over the next year with hardware. Yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. And yeah, with the ball pattern, it's going to be interesting as well. So it's going to be an interesting time with Square. I wonder where it's going to all settle out, because like it's only just come out. Give it time with software updates, and yeah, this thing could be just unbelievable. Have you noticed E6 showing lower distance numbers opposed to Awesome Golfer GS Pro? No. To me, E6 was always pretty good. The Garmin software, I have noticed the carry distances are slightly shorter, but that was the same with the R10. Right. Jez is saying, yes, merch. Happy to wear a shirt/cap. Add my logo as well when it's ready. Yeah, it's merch is a whole thing where I think you've got to, if you want to do your own merch, it's a lot of money to outlay. And then also you've got a lot of stock, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do limited runs. Maybe we'll do drops. That might be the option. Matthew's saying he's paid $107 plus tax for Bad Birdie limited edition Waste Management Open shirt at the Open. That would have been a lot of fun to go to. Would the shirts be more than that? So look, this shirt, even you can go and Google the Jay Lindeberg shirts. They're quite expensive to buy. But yeah, and shipping and getting logos put on, it's going to all add up. Greg's in the chat. Greg McDonald is in the chat. It's good to see. Okay, I have so many questions there. Hold your questions, because I'm going to have to get on to, we haven't even covered half the topics, but it's been good. We've had a lot of good Q&As. Let's talk real quick. We'll quickly do course of the week. Let's go. If you've been playing in the league, I want to talk about the league as well. So the league is back. I've got a video that I'm going to put live probably tomorrow. We'll see. The league season 2 has already kicked off, so it's in full swing. And if you've been playing the league, then you'll know the course of the week this week. The course of the week is Levy Golf. This is designed by Mace. I think this course, for me, it's the colors that do it. It looks incredible. I've skipped a few questions there, so sorry if I've skipped your questions. There's a lot of questions coming in. Glenn saying your tan is looking pretty good, Joe. Yeah, I haven't even been outside, to be honest. I do tan like instantly. I think on Sunday I will go a few shades darker because I'll be outside. No problem with tanning, that's for sure. Alex in the chat, good to see you, mate. So yeah, course of the week for me was Levy Golf. Is it Levi Golf, Levy Golf? I don't know. I'm so bad with names. But this is course of the week for me. Like I said, it was the colors that did it. It looks amazing. We've talked TGL, we've talked Full Swing, we're doing course of the week, we've done a lot of Q&As. Nova update. So Taylor's in the chat. Nova, I've been testing with them. It was actually really fun. I spent about 2 hours, I think, on Discord. We videoed. I was hitting shots, comparing it to other launch monitors. Nova is not going anywhere. The guys are working on a lot of things. So the Nova is definitely one to watch out for in the future. They've already had, I believe, 2 rounds of the tour. So they're sending out these Nova launch monitors just while this course loads. It's almost loaded now. So these launch monitors, the Nova, if you want to get your hands on one of these right now, if you head over to their Discord, you can actually apply to be one of the testers for these things. And what they're doing with these launch monitors is they're sending them to people for, I think it's 2 weeks at a time, letting people test them in their environment and then giving their feedback back to the Nova guys. And so, yeah, definitely, if you want to get your hands on one of these, reach out to them, jump on the Discord. I'll link the Discord in the description of this video once this live's finished. So, yeah, if you want to get your hands on one of these, do some testing for the guys, then jump on their Discord. Greg is saying a mace is a gun. So Adam, yeah, I've got to say, I was seriously impressed with I mean, look at that. Just look at that. It looks unreal. And what I love, this is a course in Finland as well. What I love about this course, I'll go into free flight mode. All of the actual houses, I hit F5. Hope I didn't stop the live or something. If we go out for a little look, and we spin around, even the clubhouse and all of the signs and everything, it just looks so good. And I think to me, it's the colors. I think it's the colors that do it. Just looks awesome. The detail, I love these little details. You can read all these signs. I mean, it's just awesome. Really, really, really well done. It's the trees, there's something about it. We'll head over to the second tee. But I mean, look at that. Look at the water. It was a tough course. It was a very tough course. I struggled. I ended up making a few birdies coming down the stretch. If you watch the video where I put up, I'm going to probably release it Monday, I'll see. But if you watch the video, stay tuned to the end because the golf progressively gets better towards the end of the video. Look at that in the background though on the projector. It looks so good. Unreal. That's course of the week. Dean is saying, I'm in the UK, Joe. The GC3S is £4,000 out of the, at the end of the month. The iMini Lite is 4,500. Wow. Okay. What about subscription fees? I think the subscription fees are going to be a bit more with the Foresight. I could be wrong on that, but I think the subscription fees might be a bit more. And over, say, for me, 3 to 5 years is potentially how long you're going to keep this launch monitor. So if you go 5 years, what's the actual cost at the end of the life of the unit? That's probably a good way to look at it. What's the course? This is, let me go back, F5, and let me share that screen. This is Levy Golf. Fantastic course. Really, really well done. what else? We kind of touched on the G&G Brett's homemade launch monitor. So I will be getting that hopefully in a couple of weeks. He's got a few things he's got to finish off. He's working with a guy. They're trying to get it to the point where if they do send it to me and something goes wrong, I can either fix it myself or they can do it, with an update over the air. So hopefully I will be getting Brett's launch monitor very soon. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it off immediately, so I'll potentially be doing testing with it for a period of time before I start doing videos on it, but we'll see. D. Stewart saying, I'm curious when Pro 2 will unveil more about their courses using Unreal 5 engine they teased at the PGA show. So am I. Did you see the pictures on the Pro T website? I shared them on my Instagram. Plug to my Instagram. I'm trying to grow the Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, then definitely check out the Instagram. Yes, those courses. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, but it always, for me, when you've got something like the Pro T, and they've said that this year their focus is software. So whether that's software or firmware updates with the units that they have, or they're talking about software as in building their own courses, it's a lot of investment. And when you've got a software like GS Pro, I mean, yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting, but it did look unreal. $500 for Foresight, Dean. So that's £500 a year for Foresight, and the Unicore would be what, £200? So that, I mean, that's going to add up. That is definitely going to add up. Yeah. R50 chipping issue been fixed with not showing club metrics. I'm not sure, actually. That's a good point. I had to give the R50 back, so unfortunately I don't have the R50. Yeah, hopefully they sort it out. Garmin seem to be all over the updates with the R50. It's like the R10. They had to update this thing over like a year and a half, and it got to a point where the R10 had really maxed out what it could do from that hardware. I'm sure the R50 is going to be the same. The amazing thing with the R50 is straight off the bat, the actual data you get, the ball data and club data, is fantastic. So that's a massive pro. But it comes with 12 months free for both Foresight and GS Pro, Dean saying. Yeah, I mean, you've got to weigh up how long you're going to own the unit for, and then I'd go over the life of the unit. I think in terms of accuracy, the difference between the Foresight and, I guess, which one did you say, the iMini, or was it the iMini Lite? In terms of accuracy, to be honest, I 100% trust this iMini now. I have zero issues with the data coming out of this device. I would 100% recommend in Australia, if you're going to buy a GC3, I'd say have a look at the iMini because the data is unbelievable now. And the price is a lot cheaper. So everywhere around the world, these units seem to be priced differently. So it makes it quite hard. Dom saying, is the G&G project something he intends to launch to people eventually? A Kickstarter project would be really cool in the launch monitor space. So yes, he does want to eventually release it to people. So yes, that is his idea. Jez is saying the community you've created is fantastic. How unbelievable is this community? Honestly, it blows me away, and I'm so humbled and so happy with everything that's happened with the channel. I really appreciate everybody's support, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Will Brett's launch monitor be commercially available? I don't know about commercially, Jay. Production and building these things, I don't know where it's going to be done. I don't know how it's going to be done. It will be available. His intent is for it to be available to people to buy. Now, whether it's going to be a commercial product where they're built, somewhere overseas and then shipped across, I don't know. I don't know what he intends to do. Maybe next week I'll ask if he can join us on the live. He didn't get back to me. So yeah, maybe next week I'll try and get him on the live so he can kind of answer some of the questions himself. iMini Dean. Yeah, honestly, seriously, the iMini. I watch my video around Pebble Beach. I'll do more videos on the iMini, showing it off on the channel. But honestly, the iMini, it's performing. It's performing. I think it's got to a point where Foresight should probably, I mean, not be scared, but it is performing. It is performing. And in Australia, you look at the price difference, it's almost double for a GC3. So that's a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, that we're going to have to wrap up very, very soon, unless there's anyone that's got any burning questions that can't wait till next week. It's the subscription for GS Pro that keeps me from upgrading the Mevo Plus. Why is that stopping you from upgrading from Mevo Plus? Did you see Hosel playing Sim versus Keith at the same course live? No, what's that? Hosel playing Sim. Is that Hosel Rocket Golf? Let me get on Hosel Rocket Golf's channel real quick. He's a nice guy. I played a match with him on the channel a while ago. Videos. Brandon saying, love the iMini. Yes, it's fantastic. Oh, okay. So he needs a Unicore subscription. Yeah. So yeah, I get that now. So yeah, Mevo Plus doesn't have a subscription, where as the iMini does. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. And $750, yeah, a year for the GC3. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Get a Pro T. Pro T doesn't have subscription fees. I wonder with the Pro T software, that they're bringing out, the courses, are they going to have a subscription fee potentially in the future if you want to get their courses? That's a whole nother question. But yeah, that makes sense. Thanks, Dean. I really appreciate it, mate. Really appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully the channel can keep growing. Hopefully the community keeps growing, and where this could end up in the future. I mean, yeah, it could become something really cool. It already is something really cool. So yeah, I'll have to check out Hosel Rocket Golf, the video you're talking about. I'm trying to find all of his thumbnails are now AI, so it's just hard to figure out what the thumbnail's trying to get at. Okay. That is going to be it for this week's SimWorld. I really appreciate everyone tuning in, everyone getting involved in the conversation. Yeah, I really appreciate it. That's going to be it for this week. What do we got? Got the Unicore iMini Lite installed. Let's go, Jim. Get on SGT, get playing. Do you watch Willie Long? He bombs at miles, but doesn't post much sim content. So Willie Long's unreal. He's such a good, he's such a good sim golfer, and his videos are so entertaining. But what you got to remember is his videos, to edit those, they are so in depth. And so there's a reason I think that he doesn't post very often, is because he spends a lot longer editing his videos. So it's quality versus quantity, I guess, is a big thing. So you could spend a week editing a video, it would look, amazing, or you can get out a video daily and it just be like a live stream. So, I mean, yeah, pros and cons. All right, guys, that is it for this episode of SimWorld. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. and I will catch you guys next week. Hopefully next week, I'll put up some topics and I'll try and get Brett to come on the show. So yeah, fingers crossed. All right, guys, that's it for this week. I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.